ayusin natin ang procurement process ng negosyo. Hello everyone, this is Jess Alcaraz. I teach people accounting, business, and financial literacy concepts. And right now, we will be starting a video series wherein ituturo ko sa inyo yung mga workflows na ginagawa ko sa mga clients ko. And then at the same time, later in the video, I'll be showing sa inyo paano ko ginagawa yung workflow na yun sa accounting system, which is Manager.io. I noticed kasi that in our world right now, wherein grabe na yung usage of AI, marami ng mga gumagawa ng system. So, yung mga programmers, developers, accountants, or mga even students, no, IT students, are creating their own system and business solutions and then binibenta sa mga negosyante. And I have no problem with that. The concern lang is if mag-implement ka ng information system ng procurement system, accounting system, ERP, CRM, or POS. And then, wala kang maayos na workflow on a manual basis. Mataas ang chance that you will still end up with a system na hindi nagagamit or if ever nagagamit man, hindi siya ganun ka-effective and efficient. So, my take really is ayusin muna natin yung pinaka-workflow on the manual level. Ayusin yung mga taong in charge, ayusin yung mga documents na dapat nakikita, ayusin yung workflow, and then yung workflow na yun is i-apply natin or say yung system na gagawin natin is tailor fit to that workflow. Okay? So that yung nakasanayan nyo will not be that disrupted. And a lot of your employees, a lot of your personnel, including the owner, will still be able to, kumbaga, mas mataas yung chance na ituloy-tuloy yung transition because yung existing na ginagawa nila will just be digitalized. Okay? Or automated to some extent. But it's not really a complete overhaul sa kung ano ang ginagawa nila. That is why for this video, first part is I'll give you a recommendation kung ano yung sistema or workflow na pwede natin gawin in relation to a specific area ng business. And then, in the second part of it, I will show you kung paano siya ginagawa doon sa Manager.io, which is the accounting system na ginagamit ko and dinedeploy din sa mga clients ko. So without further ado, I'll be sharing my screen para maipakita sa inyo how the workflow looks like. So I have created a PowerPoint slide, with the help of AI. Okay, paano dapat ang purchasing process ng small businesses? So we will be focusing our discussion for this first video series, for this first video in this video series on purchasing. So gawin natin systematic ang pagbili sa negosyo without making it unnecessarily complicated. Okay, so here are the realities of small businesses. Ito yung usual na nangyayari at ginagawa. If may kailangan na supplies or inventory, tatawag lang sa supplier and walang formal record as to ilang quantity, magkano yung babayaran, kailan darating. So those kinds of documentation, hindi siya nakikita, hindi siya ginagawa. Basta tatawag lang, oy, pare, punta ako sa store nyo mamaya, bibili ako ng ganito, ganyan. Okay? And then, pagpunta mo doon, there's a good chance na merong stock, sometimes walang stock. But then again, in terms of documentation, minimal lang to none. Saka na lang alalahanin kung magkano talaga, sino ang nag-approve at kung nabayaran na ba. So in a lot of small businesses, if hindi yung owner yung bumibili, may personnel involved in the procurement, maraming businesses na hindi dumadaan sa approval phase yung mga binibili. So kumbaga, it's a trust-based system wherein kung sino yung nakatoka for procurement, siya na bahala kung ano yung orderin. And si owner will just be saying yes to whatever was bought. Yun. Which is also a challenge and a concern then later on. So the better approach would be may malinaw na proseso bago maglabas ng pera at bago tumanggap ng supply mula sa supplier. So hindi kailangan ng mahal na software, kailangan lang ng disiplina at malinaw na workflow. So again, it would always go back to the workflow, whether manual mo siya ginagawa, and then if meron kang software to implement such workflow, then that would be better. Okay, what are the dangers? Okay, mga panganib. Grabe naman yung panganib, di ba? Dangers or concern with regards to informal buying. Number one, yun na nga, nasabi ko na kanina, unclear approvals. Hindi natitiyak kung kailangan ba talaga ang binibili or pasok ba ito sa allocated budget ng negosyo. So ideally, in big organizations, especially dun sa former workplace ko, meron kaming sineset na annual budget. Yung budget na yun, doon kukunin lahat ng procurement ng isang office. And before that procurement, yung purchase request will be approved, it has to be seen or it has to be still within the annual budget. But we're not talking about budget here. The point lang is that there should be a clear metric or criteria for a purchase request, a purchase order should be approved. Hindi pwede as much as possible na lahat ng ino-order ng personnel will push through. Okay? So may order, purchase request, purchase order, dadaan siya sa approval, and then before siya mag-push through. Hindi natitiyak kung kailangan ba talaga kasi we wanted to check if indeed this particular supplies or inventory is mababa na ba talaga yung stock niya. Baka kasi bili tayo ng bili, order tayo ng order, tapos naiimbak lang siya sa warehouse natin and then slow moving pala. Yun pala, merong mga kababalaghan ng ginagawa yung personnel natin. Kaya yung specific na inventory na yun is constantly being replenished. Number two, missing records and invoice. Mahirap i-reconcile at i-track kung alin sa mga utang sa suppliers ang bayad na at alin ang hindi pa. So this is also a concern if you are dealing with a lot of purchases from one supplier or even with multiple suppliers now. So kung decentralized yung mga pinaggagawa nyo sa organization nyo, may separate record si inventory warehouse in charge, may separate record si accounting, may separate record si operations or sa storefront and then si owner din, may separate record siya. Mahirap siyang i-reconcile kung alin ba talaga yung pinaka-updated at pinaka-totoo. That is why there's a good chance na kung ganun yung operation mo, there's a good chance na magdodoble-doble yung in-order, hindi natin mabayaran on time yung mga suppliers natin, or in some other instances, meron tayong na-order, hindi dumarating, or nababayaran na hindi pa pala na-order. So mga ganong klaseng ng inefficiencies that will accumulate and definitely lead into some negative impact sa business. Double payment risk, na-mention ko na yan, pagbabayad ng supply. Kasi nga, iba-iba yung sources of truths natin because we don't have one database to look at our numbers. Uncontrolled cash flow leaks. Ang maliliit na unrecorded purchases ay nag-accumulate sa malaking kawalan ng kita. So again, in terms of approval, dapat meron na siyang checking part and approval part on whether or not this particular inventory and supplies should be replenished, should be purchased. Okay? Okay, here is the 7-step purchasing workflow na pwede nating sundan. Again, these are just recommendations and suggestions. Kung may mga variation sa ginagawa nyo sa organization at business nyo, wala namang problema doon. Okay? For so long as it's working and we are able to establish a proper control and systematic process. So number one would be the request. So there should be a department, a personnel that will trigger the workflow. Request muna. Okay? So let's say branch. Mag-order si branch kasi pakonti na lang yung stock niya. We don't want to have stock outs wherein may mga customer gustong bumili ng ganito pero yun pala wala nang stock. So we don't want that because sayang yung magiging sales. So if you're running a food and beverage businesses, ganun pa rin. If maubusan tayo ng gatas, maubusan tayo ng kape, we cannot prepare for a particular menu, then if hahanapin siya ng customer, sayang, hindi tayo makakabenta. However, hindi lahat ng request should be automatically approved and procured. So meron dapat approval. So we should be checking it with the budget. May pera ba tayo? We should also be checking it with the warehouse or the inventory custodian if it is true na wala ba talagang stock or baka may naitago pa sa likod and then meron pa tayong pwedeng gamitin. That is why merong approval process. And then after that, pwede na tayong mag-order. We can send our orders to our suppliers and record the receiving. So when our suppliers receive, when the suppliers deliver the inventory that we have ordered, we should be checking it if tama ba yung dumating sa in-order natin. And of course, madalas kapag ka na-deliver na, meron ng invoice, meron ng billing from the supplier. So may bill na lalabas and this bill should be forwarded to the finance, to the accounting, and i-check din yung amount na in-order or pinapabayaran ng supplier sa in-order natin at sa kung anong dumating. So parang tatlong records. We will be checking the original file na in-order containing the items we ordered. Ibabangga natin siya sa kung ano ang dumating and then sa kung ano ang sinisingil ng supplier sa atin. Because sometimes may mga discrepancies yan. Baka may pinapabayaran sa atin na hindi pala dineliver. Baka may pinapabayaran sa atin na hindi pala natin in order. That is why we will be verifying those three documents in our accounting. And then, of course, once verified na, bayaran na natin. And we're done. So the procurement process is already done after those steps. Okay? So, phase 1, order initiation, purchase request, may kailangan actually na-discuss ko na ito. These are just additional information, no? May kailangan ng business, supplies, inventory, or equipment. Hindi basta order lang ng order. Gumawa muna ng formal request. Of course, in smaller organizations with few personnel, hindi talaga masyadong na-implement to because the one ordering is also the owner who happens to be the one paying for it as well and also checking okay lang, if owner lahat, okay lang naman. Pero for bigger organizations, then merong mga checking process na mangyayari. And then approval, i-review ang request ng assigned head. Kailangan ba talaga? Is this something that is urgently needed? Magkano? May budget ba? And then, once approved, then gawa ng purchase order. Receiving, pagdating ng order, check, confirm kung tama ang items. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo sa mga 7-Eleven, from time to time, may mga dumadating na stocks. May mga logbooks yan sila, may chine-check yan sila. Okay, may checkbook si delivery personnel. Meron ding chine-check si personnel ng 7-Eleven store. Ibabangga kung yung in-order ba is match sa kung ano ang dumating. And then the payments and then the records once those documents have been verified. Okay, tatlong core pillar na gusto nating i-observe in our procurement process. Number 1 would be control. Iwas sa unauthorized buying at bigla ang gastos na pumipinsala sa cash flow. In bigger organizations, sabi ko nga kanina, meron ng budget na nakaset per department. And as much as possible, you should be working with that budget. So we don't want na may gagastusin, may i-request na wala naman sa budget na ipinasa or something na gusto agad-agad meron na. So kunwari, merong vehicle, nasira nabutas yung gulong, so dapat kasama na sa budget mo na throughout the year, you will be expecting to have repairs and maintenance. So if pasok sa budget, then okay, push through yung request. If kailangang bilhin ng ganito for so long as it's within the budget and have been informed ahead of time, walang problema yon. Pero kung, let's say, gusto mo mag-travel to some other places and gusto mo tomorrow agad, so it's a no-no in our procurement and payment process. Kung may gusto kang bilhin and gusto mo tomorrow agad, wala naman siya, hindi naman siya dumaan sa request, hindi naman siya kasama sa budget. So those are things na as much as possible dapat nating iwasan. And also, we also do not want na reimbursement na lang. Kasi madalas, yung mga reimbursement na yan is a venue, okay, an avenue for corruption in a sense na wala naman sa budget, wala naman sa plano, hindi naman na-communicate in advance, ginastosan na, and then for the part of management, parang uh, ano bang better term? At yung management is in a position na parang naiipit siya because binayaran na even for the fact na hindi siya na-coordinate. For example, bumili na ng supplies, bumili na ng inventory kasi kailangan na talaga only to find out na meron pa palang stock doon sa inventory. Kasi nga hindi na-coordinate and then nabili asking for reimbursement. So, sige, for now siguro, reimbursement na lang. Pero sana pwede sanang hindi binili because meron pang stock sa ibang branch, sa warehouse, or some other areas, no? Okay, visibility. Makikita agad kung ano ang recorded, received, payable, at fully paid. So this is an advantage if you have an information system wherein nandun na siya lahat. And then number 3, accountability. May malinaw na nag-approve at nagve-verify sa bawat yugto ng pagbili. Okay? So, it is initiated by the store in charge, the cashier, the tendera, approved by the head, and then coordinated with the supplier, and then forwarded, pagka-deliver, may warehouse in charge na mag-check. And then, pagpunta sa accounting and finance, ibabangga yung tatlong records na yun. And then, once cleared na, payment. So again, klaro yung process, klaro yung mga taong accountable. So if may mga nabayaran, tapos hindi pala part ng order, sino yung sisisihin natin? Of course, the accounting and finance. Bakit binayaran na hindi naman pala part ng order? May binili na hindi pala kailangan talaga. So, ang accountable dyan would be the supervisor who have approved the purchase order. Hindi niya na-check ng maayos, nag-approve siya without checking if kailangan ba talaga or within budget ba. Okay? So, ang goal ng sistema ay hindi lang basta mag-record ng purchases. Ang tunay na goal ay siguraduhin bawat piso ng negosyo ay may dahilan, may record at may trail. So, that is a procurement best practice. Okay, the next part of our presentation would be to implement the workflow na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina in the accounting system na ginagamit natin, which is Manager IO. So we'll start with the request. So in the request, dito natin siya idadaan sa purchase order. So we'll create a new purchase order, specify kung sinong supplier, and then the inventory na bibili natin. So kunwari blender 5, then electric fan 5 din. Sabihin natin 750 and then this one is 950. Okay? So purchase request. Okay, then create. So, take note na itong purchase order dito sa system, it does not create any it is not considered a financial transaction. It will not add inventory, it will not add payable. So, this is just a record that represents kung ano yung ni-request ng in charge. Okay, so we're done with the request. The next one would be the approval. So, sa approval, of course, the head, the supervisor, or the owner will be able to check the purchase order. So, titignan niya, view. May ni-request na blender and then electric fan, 5 and then 5. So, ang pwede niyang i-check in order to approve this inventory would be the availability of cash. Okay, meron tayong pera. And then the inventory items din. So, sa inventory items natin, we have 9 blender and 9 electric fan. Meron pa tayong stock but assuming na since papalapit na ang bare months, then we have to add more inventory to cater the demand. Okay, so based on those criteria, this purchase order will be approved. Okay, so we can just edit and then lagyan natin ng approve. Actually, we can also add additional buttons to to represent the decision of management, but we will not discuss that one para simple lang yung maging ano natin, workflow. So just edit, pwedeng i-edit siya ni manager and then lagyan lang ng approve or pwede naman niyang i-print. Pwede niyang i-print ito and then tatakan if meron siyang stamp, okay, approve. And then, ipasa pabalik sa in charge or si mismong supervisor or si owner na mismo ang magsasend nito sa supplier. Okay? So that's our approval stage. Next would be the order form. Yun. Actually, in the request, we have already processed the order form in the system. So we're done with 1, 2, 3. The next one would be receiving the item. Okay? So, sa receiving ng item, of course, it will come from the supplier and then i-deliver sa warehouse natin. So, meron tayong tinatawag na goods receipt dito sa system. So, the goods receipt represents the goods that arrive in our warehouse. So, from the purchase order view, so, ito yung pinaka-in-order natin. And then, no need to encode it again. Just go to copy to and then pasok niya lang natin sa goods receipt. Okay, sa goods receipt, the warehouse in charge will just be checking if whether or not yung in-order ba is equal to the ones that have arrived. So, let's say ito, blender 5 and then 5. So, complete delivery. Lagyan lang natin ng complete delivery. So, create. If we go to our inventory items, dito sa inventory items natin, kung napapansin nyo, mas mataas yung nasa quantity on hand as compared sa quantity owned. Kasi dumating na. Again, the purchase order does not create financial transaction. It will not create a payable account. It will not increase our inventory. However, in the system, since meron na tayong goods receipt, nadagdagan na yung quantity on hand natin. Okay? Pero quantity owned natin is 9 pa lang. So later, we will be updating this one. So after ma-receive ng goods, the supplier will now be giving an invoice to our business. So that invoice will now be the evidence para i-record ng accounting and finance natin the payable. So again, no need to encode it in the purchase invoice. Just goes to the purchase order, view, and then copy to purchase invoice. So the purchase invoice will be the document or the trigger to add inventory in our possession, in our ownership, and then it will also record payable. So sabihin natin 30 days yung term. Okay? Then we can attach the image of the invoice from the supplier. So for payment. So take note ha, before encoding the purchase invoice, kailangan nating i-check yung purchase order kung tama ba yung laman niya with the, ibabangga natin yung tatlo. Ima-match natin kung yung dumating ba is tama ba sa in-order natin and yung binigay ba na invoice is tama ba sa dumating din. So we don't want to pay for anything na hindi naman dumating. So ibabangga niya yung purchase order, yung invoice from the supplier as well as the goods receipt. So if okay na lahat, then 5 and 5 and then the unit price is also the same, then we'll just be recording this item. Okay? So, create. If you go back to our inventory, mag-i-equal na po yung quantity kasi nakapag-record na tayo ng purchase invoice with what is present in our warehouse equivalent to what was already delivered. Okay? So, purchase invoice. Ayan. You can check this one. This is our purchase invoice. So, tapos na tayo sa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then payment. Okay. For the payment, just go to the purchase invoice. And again, no need to copy or encode it again. Just copy it and then new payment. So, identify lang saan kukunin yung pera, cash on hand, kasi ito yung may laman. and then payment to supplier. Then we can attach the fund transfer screenshot or the sales, not the sales invoice, the check payment siguro, or any evidence na nagbayad na tayo. Acknowledgement receipt, whatever. So, create. So, once that's done, nag-blur yung mukha ko. Once that's done, if you go back to the purchase invoice, it will now reflect that this is already paid in full. As for our cash, nabawasan siya from 85,500, it will now be 77,000 pesos. Okay? So, audit trail, definitely makikita natin yan from the payment. Okay, meron tayong payment. Ano yung, we can go to the purchase invoice. Okay, view. Ang purchase invoice natin is galing sa order number na ganito. And then, nagbayad tayo with this payment reference. So, nandito siya, makikita siya sa purchase invoice, as well as in the other modules present in this system. Okay? So that's the process for the software and in implementing that workflow. And then, by the way, no, as an announcement, I am launching a cohort program. So ano po ba yung cohort? Basically, it's just a group program wherein I will be mentoring business owners in terms of their accounting workflows. So doon sa program na yon, we will be meeting once a week. And we will be reviewing kung ano yung ginagawa nila sa business nila in relation to accounting. And we will be reviewing it, giving some recommendations, and also implementing those workflows and recommendations into Manager IO. So they will be learning all of it. Hindi lang basta pagpili ng software, pag-usapan at i-design natin ang eksaktong purchase workflow na angkop sa laki at pangangailangan ng negosyo mo. So we're not just be teaching how to use the software, but we will be reviewing your current workflows, giving some suggestions, and incorporating those workflows into the system. Okay? So ayusin natin ang system para maging sapat at simple ang workflow mo, practical at madaling gampanan para talagang gamitin ng team mo araw-araw. Okay? So, as a review, build the system, gumawa ng malinaw na rules, forms at approval thresholds na sundin ng buong organization, not just you as an owner but also your personnel as well. Understand the business, i-align ang purchasing sa cash flow management at inventory. Run it better, tanggalin ang aksaya, tiyakin ang kita at magkaroon ng peace of mind sa bawat paglabas ng pera. So, ready to transform your purchasing. So again, the cohort program, we will be launching it soon. If you are interested in joining, the link will be available in the comment section for pre-registration. Again, no commitments lang muna. I just wanted to know if people are interested in such a program. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope marami kayong natutunan. And if you think that this video will help someone you know, tag them along, share this in your post. And those simple things will definitely help the page and will also spread this information to other Pinoy business owners. Kato lang, and maayong buntag po, sir, no? Maayong adlaw sa tanan.